Hello everyone, today we're going to continue with our three-way sanitary valve creation in Revit. I remind you this is a 4-part video series. This is the last one, part 4. And in this one we're going to focus on connectors and types. In the previous 3 videos we created most of the valve geometry. In this one we add a few more constraints so that the part behaves the way we want to. And then we add the connectors for the pipes. And we run a little test at the end. I remind you that what we want to end up with is a valve that looks pretty much like that, and that if you want to download the valve itself, you can just scan the QR code that you see right there on the screen and it takes you to BIMitUp.com and you can download it. There's still a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. Now all we need to do is fill up all our values here so we can create different types. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come here, I'm going to create a new type, and I'm going to create one type for each size. So we have 1, 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. So this is 1, then we duplicate 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. And now we just fill in the proper parameters for each one. And before we go too far, let's make sure we constrain our model. So if I move this, so notice that if I click on this extrusion and I try to go as thick as I want, it seems like it's letting it do it, right? We wouldn't want that. So let's align to this plane, this one, unlock it. Now let's see this one here. That's good. And to the other side, see, we don't want this. We want this to be locked to this plane. So align to this plane, this surface, and lock it. Then how about this one? So if we try to stretch it this way, it allows me to do that. We don't want that. We want this to always start at this reference plane. Unlock it. Now let's do the same thing here. This guy. Right now it can go in as far as he wants. I don't want that. I want that to be constrained to this. This one currently can go in as much as he wants. I don't want that. Lock it. And this one here. Now this one here can also go in as much as he wants. I don't want that. I want to lock it. And the same thing with this one. We want to align and lock. And then this one, we want to align and lock. And this one, we want to align and lock. Now let's give this another try. And I realized that I was struggling a lot, and the reason is because we don't have the flange thickness constraint at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a parameter that's going to be called flange thickness. So let's measure from here to here, and in this case I want this one to be the strong reference, the fixed reference, because I want C to drive the show, because that's the length that I really know. I don't know the distance from here to here. It's going to depend on the flange thickness. So to this one, I'm going to assign a new parameter. Let me see if I have a flange thickness here. I don't have one, so let's create one. It's going to be flange thickness. And for now, let's keep it at a 1/4 inch. That's fine. Take it out of here so we can clearly see what it is. So flange thickness, and then this distance from here to here, I also want it to be flange thickness. And then this distance from here to here, it's also going to be flange thickness. And now we want the distance from here to here to here to be equal always. Yeah, and that did the trick. You know, before it was behaving a little bit erratic. So that's 1.5, that's 2 inches, that's 3 inches, that's 4 inches. That's really good. Now we just need to add our connectors, and that would be it. So let's go back to 2, which is my favorite. We can actually close this, and we can come and do create. We want this to be a pipe connector right here, and here. And then this one. Now, instead of clicking on it, because I could click on it and change this to, let's say, 2 inches, right? And it would change. But what I want is to define a parameter instead so that I can associate to each one of the types. For that, we come here to our parameters. We click on new parameter. We're going to call it pipe size. We're going to pick it from the piping discipline. And here it is, pipe size. Now we want to group the parameter. We can keep it under dimensions, not a big deal. Let's type parameter. And now to this one, since this is a 2 inch, we're going to associate 2 inches. We can change to the 1 inch pipe size, 1 inch, 1.5, it's going to be 1.5 inches. We already have the 2 inch at 2 inches. 3 inch is going to be 3 inch. And then 4 inch is going to be 4 inch. Perfect. Now, what we do is to each one of these connectors, to this one, we associate that pipe size. See? So they change automatically. So this one, again, to pipe size. In this case, they're all the same pipe size, so we can associate the same parameter. If not, it would be pipe diameter 1, pipe diameter 2, pipe diameter 3, and so on. Perfect. And now, as you can see, let me change this to wireframe so that you see exactly what I'm talking about. See this pipe size here? So if we change this from a 4 inch to a 1.5 inch, I'm going to slide this over, click apply, you see? Now we need to make sure that this is in the correct system classification. So in this case, this is sanitary. So I want this to be the inlet, and then these two are going to be the outlets. So this one is going to be calculated because it's going to be entering, and we're going to be reading from the system. The flow direction is going to be in. And then let's make this sanitary. Now for this one, It's also going to be calculated, but this one's going to be out, and it's going to be sanitary. And then this one's going to be the same. It's going to be calculated, it's going to be out, and is sanitary. And it seems like we're done. So let's see, let's save our family, and let's create a new project. Now let's load our family into our project. Let's just drop a couple of sizes here. For example, the 2-inch is to the 3-inch, and the 4-inch. That's decent. So 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, and 4 inches, 4 inches, and 4 inches. Just looking good. So that's our valve.